this is April 14th, Tuesday for y'all for science. Okay, so what we're going to do is I had y'all do chapter 11 first, because I was hoping we'd be back this week, and I could do chapter 10 with y'all here in class. Be a little bit easier that way, but since we're still at home, we'll just go back and do 10 now as well. And so your test for this group will be on 10 and 11. The order really doesn't matter for us right now, because it's totally different stuff. But so we're going to go back to chapter 10, and so we're going to be on page 366. So what we're going to do is basically the way I'll have this set up, since we don't have the study guide. Before we get to the test, I'll go back through the chapter review that you just did and turned into me. I'll go back over it, and then I'll go back over the chapter 10 one too. And so that'll help y'all review a little bit and get y'all ready for the test once we're ready for it. So today we'll just start chapter 10. And so what I need you to do is I need you to read page 366 through 370, and then come back to the video and I'll kind of hit the high points for you. So on page 366, we get this chapter is on assorted invertebrates. So invertebrate means without a backbone. And so we have crustaceans begins this off. And so we have aquatic and arthropods. And so an arthropod with very hard, crusty exoskeletons are crustaceans. And crustaceans, like it says, Crustacea is the class name. And so it says, like the exoskeletons of other arthropods, crustacean exoskeletons contain protein and chitin. But crustacean exoskeletons are also hardened by calcium carbonate, which is the same substances that form limestone. And so crustaceans are only arthropods with 2 pair of antennae, and in many crustaceans, the first pair of antennae are short and are called antennules. The second pair is longer and called simply antenna. So crustaceans include a wide variety of animals such as woodlice, barnacles, shrimp, prawns, crawfish, lobsters, and crabs. So crustaceans also have a wide range in size, and so it kind of goes on to describe the size differences there. And so that gives you basically the introduction there of aquatic arthropods and crustaceans. If you flip over to 367, it talks about the big picture. And so they give you distinct differences here. Like insects, most adult crustaceans have compound eyes and side-to-side jaws called mandibles, as well as 2 pairs of smaller jaws, the maxillae, that help hold food for chewing. Crustaceans differ from insects in that their bodies are usually divided into only 2 distinct body regions: the cephalothorax, combined head and thorax, and the abdomen. And crustaceans also lack wings, and they have more legs than insects. Each crustacean has at least 4 pairs of jointed legs. Unlike insects, most crustaceans breathe with gills. So defend and grow. One of the most fascinating characteristics of crustaceans is their ability to regenerate legs, feelers, and other missing body parts. And so the lost appendage will grow back, becoming a little larger each time the crustacean molts, and it finally reaches its full size. A protective principle. It says, God told children of Israel that they were not to eat crustaceans and other shellfish. The dietary laws that God gave to the Israelites showed his concern for them. God knew that crustaceans can be unhealthy to eat because crustaceans retain harmful substances in the body. Depending on what crustaceans have eaten, they may cause intestinal problems, paralysis, and in some cases even death. And so this was especially important before modern technology and medicine and all that. Smaller segments of the crustaceans. Over 10,000 species of decapods have been identified, although the entire body of a decapod is covered with a crusty exoskeleton. And the cephalothorax is covered with a especially hard cell called a carapace, which provides armor-plated protection for the decapod's vital organs. A forward extension of the carapace called the rostrum protects the decapod's head. On 368, we have efficient equipment. The 2 compound eyes attached to the head by flexible stalks enable a decapod to see in several directions without having to rotate its head or body. Like other crustaceans, the decapod has two sets of feelers, the shortened antennules in front and the larger antenna right behind them. The antenna function has organs of touch and taste. Close to the decapod's mouth are 3 pairs of maxillipeds, which are specially designed to hold food for the decapod that the decapod chews. The front 2 of the decapod's 10 legs are cheilipids tipped with a chile for protection and for seizing prey, although the cheilipids of such decapods as crabs and crayfish usually have large chelae, and the chelae of most shrimp are very small. The remaining 8 legs are used for walking. Swift swimmers, the decapod's tail, like abdomen, consists of 2 movable segments. A pair of swimmerettes is on the underside of each segment of the abdomen, and the decapod uses these structures in swimming and mating. In most decapods, the swimmerettes on the last segment of the abdomen are called uropods. These broad, flat structures are the swimmerettes that function most in swimming, so uropods function most in swimming. Skipping down some, we have a hearty appetite. Decapods will eat just about anything, even available plants. In fact, a hungry decapod does not even care whether its food is living or dead. These creatures often act as scavengers, feeding on decaying plants and animals. Then 369, we have, because their hard exoskeletons are made of non-living material, crustaceans must molt as they grow. Unlike an insect, which molts only until it has grown to full size, many crustaceans never reach a particular point at which they stop growing. Water of life, decapods, like other crustaceans, breathe with gills in a protective chamber on each side of the body, just beneath the carapace. The decapod uses one of its pairs of maxillae to pump water through the gill chambers. Tail tuckers, skipping down a little bit, is a decapod whose abdomen generally does not extend beyond the carapace. Is the crab. So the crab is a decapod whose abdomen generally does not extend beyond the carapace. Because a crab keeps its abdomen tucked beneath its carapace, the animal appears at first glance to have no abdomen at all, but if you turn a crab over on its back, you'll be able to see that it, like the other decapods, have both a cephalothorax and an abdomen. And so it kind of gives you the example there of the crab's external anatomy, which is a good thing to look at. Then the last page, 370, you have all newly hatched crabs called zaoi, have transparent bodies and very large eyes. These immature decapods must go through many molts, resulting changes in the appearance before reaching adulthood. Sometimes called crawfish or crawdads, inhabit freshwater. Crayfish are generally nocturnal, and they mate in the fall, and the females lay about 100 eggs in the spring. And we'll stop there and pick up the rest tomorrow. And so what I need you to do is page 376, do 1 through 5. You're going to do 1 through 5 on 376, and that'll pretty much cover what we've done today.